Hey folks, Farmer Marshall here, and today is the day I've been waiting for about 8, 9 weeks. A day when I get to harvest. So I'm not taking everything out the garden, obviously, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out a bunch of my collard greens, or at least some of them. And I'm using a method that's completely different from what I used to do, and it's called the come and cut it again method. I used to come out and pull out, maybe 3, 4 plants, pull them out from the roots, take them inside, cut the leaves off, take the root ball, toss it into the compost bin. Now using the cut and come again method, I cut most of the leaves off the plant to harvest them. I'll leave some of the center smaller leaves there, and I'll come back in 4 or 5 weeks. That plant will regrow bigger and more leaves. At that point, I can literally cut and come again. I might do that 2 or 3 times. So I can double, maybe even triple my harvest on the collard greens that I have out here. So let's go have a little fun. Well, I do practice what I preach. I always tell you to go outside and get a little dirty. Well, here I am, down in the dirt. And actually, I'm on a little, an old car mat that I used to have. And one thing I definitely need, I'm sure some of your gardening friends need, are things to kneel on in the garden. Matter of fact, I have a couple things on more of my other videos, the top 10 list of gifts to get your gardening friends. You should check it out. Anyway, so, and the harvest is really pretty simple. I just go around, cut off a lot of the larger leaves, not all of them, just leaves that are good size. I could have let this plant go further, but we're going to have some collard greens this weekend. So, figure no need to go buy any. I'm going to have some here. And I still left some decent size leaves on the plant. I'm not completely killing it. And I do want it to be able to get energy from the sun. So, taking off these leaves here, bunch of big ones here. I have enough plants so I can take a lot of leaves. And I might not take leaves off for all of my plants. I don't know how many I'm going to get once I fill up a bag or two of these leaves. And as you can see, plant still has some small leaves, but they're good enough to let the plant still get plenty of energy from the sun. And actually, cutting these leaves off encourages the plant to put on more leaves because it doesn't have to focus on the leaves that I'm cutting off. It can focus more on new growth. And don't forget, when you're out here, if you see bad leaves on your plant, take them off. Could possibly be disease, maybe not, but I'll take those and put them in my compost bin. And once the compost bin, everything heats up, it'll destroy anything in there. So I have several more plants to do. So let me show you the end result. These are the collards that I harvest. Has some decent sized leaves on them still, but as a comparison, these are some of the other plants that were out here with it. So that one left some more leaves on it too. So yeah, I got about 3 grocery bags full of collard greens. And next up, not this week, but maybe in another 10 days or so, I'm going to start harvesting several of these broccoli plants. Because I should have about, I'm thinking 4 or 5 heads that are, this one here is pretty close. Same with this one here. And I don't know if you can tell, but it did start raining out here. So I'm gonna get back inside in a minute. And this one here might look like a double-headed plant. But what I did is I had one plant that, I think it was this one here, that looked like it was dying when I first put it in the ground. So I just went on and put it right next to this one here, and they both survived. So I'm good with that. Very happy with that. In fact, I think this one might have been chewed on from something. And maybe that's why I put the other one next to it. Anyway it goes, it looks like it was about to die. So I didn't want to have a spot that was empty. And as far as some of the other items in the garden, my cabbage, they formed their heads. Some of them have decent sized heads, but not nowhere near ready to pick. And the plant that Bear almost destroyed is still looking pretty decent. It's forming its head. That one there, he messed with some, but it's formed a decent sized head. Not ready to pick yet, but I'm okay with that. And I noticed one of my cauliflower plants has formed a little ball. Very happy with that. So what I'm going to do with that is, I've heard, well, a couple things I'm doing. I'm going to take some of these bad leaves off. But I've heard that if you take some of the leaves and form it around the ball, it helps protect it. So I'm going to take a little string I have and going to tie it around there and see how that does with my cauliflower. Some of yours have had problems with where they would go turn brown. Oh, I didn't even see this one here. Here's another one. So yeah, I'm gonna do both of those. I think that's the one I saw the other day, but this one here, maybe this is the one I didn't see. So yeah, they're coming along. I have 6 of them out here, and I'm gonna tie it up. Some people use string, but I think not string, rubber bands. But I think rubber bands are a little harsh as far as or unforgiving to the plant. So I'm gonna tie these two close and take some bad leaves off, and I'll be done for the day. And the garden's getting watered, which is always a good thing. I don't mind working in a little bit of rain, so my wife thinks I'm crazy, but that's okay. So anyway, I do have one more thing to show you guys, so hang on there. I keep coming back to these. So I decided to take another look at the plant, and notice that a lot of the stems have died off. A lot of the old stems were dying, which is fine. And then I decided, you know what? Let me take a look at this plant. They're growing well, but I want to see about root development, because that's really what I need to get the plant to get to the size I really want to get. And I pulled it up, and look at that. Roots. And I'm not talking about Alex Haley's book. Roots. So yeah, I'll probably give it another week in the container here, and I'm going to rebury that here. But I'll probably give it another week here in the container. Then I'm going to put it in the regular garden and fill up a couple spots where I left empty for mustard greens, which I never end up getting. So hey, you got to grow your scraps. And let's get outside and get a little dirty.